Hey everyone, it's Lindsay here, and today I'm going to talk about how to create a simple strategy for the launch of an info product or a digital course. If you're launching a digital product for the first time, you're probably feeling many emotions: anxiety, excitement, also worry, and maybe some confusion because there's so much going on. You've put a lot of time and energy into this product and you really want it to be successful. In this vlog, I'm going to put together a simple strategy for you on how to launch your product and get starting with rolling in the sales. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my transition from corporate Lindsay to entrepreneur business Lindsay. I've basically had businesses my entire life. When I was a little kid, around 10 or 12, I used to make jewelry and sell it to family and friends. From there, I moved on to doing some graphic design work. I made t-shirts and sold them at gymnastics meets. And then I even started creating websites for local businesses that were integrating e-commerce for the first time. As I grew older and I went to college and I finished my degree, I felt like it was the more responsible thing to do to get a real job. And I say that with quotes. As I got older and went through college, I felt like it was the more responsible thing to do to go get a real job. And I entered the corporate workforce, in which I stayed for about 10 years. The thing is I was never fulfilled. I was always doing my side gigs to have some more fun and excitement around my vision and my mission and what I wanted to do. But last year, in 2017, I made the decision to finally go and be 100% solo entrepreneur on my own and ditch the corporate world. I had a lot of motivation around this. I wanted to be able to have more flexibility in my life. As a single mom and having recently gone through a really awful divorce, I wanted to be able to take my kids to school and pick them up every day and not necessarily have to get babysitters. Or to be able to take time off with my kids when they have off of school instead of having to count up my vacation days and freak out that there weren't enough. Even though I'd already had businesses and this wasn't anything new to me, the transition to going full-time on my own was still super scary. Because what if it didn't work out? I was financially responsible for my kids. What if I didn't make any money? How were we going to keep our house? They're in a private school. How could they stay? When I left the corporate world, I was in a very great position. In fact, my job was envious. I had a 6-figure job. I was in a management position. Everything was great. I received awesome bonuses. And a lot of people ask me, why would you even leave this? But I didn't think that it was enough. I wasn't using my knowledge to my fullest capacity. And that's ultimately why I wanted to be on my own. But the one mistake that I made was that I thought that my knowledge and information that I had, that all my experience would transfer pretty seamlessly into entrepreneurship. And it actually didn't transfer as easy as I thought. So here's the reality of starting off as an entrepreneur. There are so many people out there telling you how easy it is to start a business and to get going. And yes, it's true. The entry barrier to start your own business is basically minimal. I had side gigs since I was 12 years old. It's very easy to start a business. What's not so easy is to grow and create profit in your business. When I first launched and I left my corporate job, I didn't really know I didn't know what to expect. I mean, I was expecting that I would be successful because I've just been successful in my life. But when the time came to it, nothing really happened. I thought as soon as I was free of the corporate reins that people would come flocking to me for help and for information, and that just wasn't the case. And I really started to panic. I was in for a very rude awakening, and that business growth, it doesn't just happen. Long-term steady growth begins with providing your audience with high value content. and content that they can get for free. And I'm not talking about for free with an email address. I'm talking about just sharing your knowledge, information, and experiences, whether it be on a blog or in Facebook videos, or even participating in group forums and sharing what you know. Building those relationships is important, just like in real life. It's very rare that we find someone that we can form an immediate BFF friendship with or true love the second that we meet them. Your business is the same way. It takes time. The get rich quick themes, they don't really work. They might work in the short term. You might be able to pull off a really awesome launch and bring in a boatload of money initially, and you can use some really savvy sales and marketing techniques to do that. But again, that's going to be an immediate cash flow and not a long-term sustainable one because you haven't created any relationships. And more importantly, if your product sucks, people aren't going to buy from you again. To help grow your business responsibly, you need to find your audience and connect with them and help nurture them, provide them value. If you're looking to launch your first digital product, I've got a simple game plan for you on how you can begin to do this and use that product to grow your business. So step number 1 is to provide high value, free content. Again, this could be blogs, it could be videos, it could be even in the form of a podcast. But you want to reach your audience by providing content that is valuable for them and help them understand what your knowledge is, what you have to offer, and just be a nice person. Don't think that every time that you talk to somebody, you have to charge money, because that's not going to go very far. It doesn't matter how awesome you think you were in some other business or area. This is a new audience, and you need to start from the beginning and be nice and give people good value. Next, you can start to ask for some email addresses. So building on the information that you've already provided your audience, maybe put together something a little bit more substantial. So if you've been doing, say, 1,000 word blog entries with a video like I do, maybe your next step is some sort of PDF guide or short training that people can get with providing an email address. This email address is very important because email marketing is still the number one way to get people to purchase from you. So if you have their email address, you can begin to have those interactions, again, having different sequences and helping people get to know you better to prepare them for upcoming purchases. As your list starts to grow, step number 3 is to groom your list. So you want to maintain contact with the people who sign up for you. And it's very important that this is done on a consistent basis. We all have those friends who, we hear from, every few months, and it's like some things never were forgotten, and that's great. And it can be that way in your business too. But I can guarantee you that if you send even just a weekly email to your audience, when they come up with a problem that they think you can solve, you'll be at the top of their brain, and they'll be like, oh, Lindsay does that. Lindsay helps people create courses. I'm going to contact her. Next, you can start to offer a solution in exchange for money. And just a note, because people have been reading your blogs and they have signed up for your free document and you've really been grooming your list and continuing to provide them with value, it's been about maybe somewhere between 30 and 90 days now. So they've really gotten to know you and who you are. And now is the time when you can ask them to make maybe a small purchase. This might be a $9.99 ebook, or generally just something like under $25 maybe, where there is little risk but very high reward. And when you're offering this, it's a really great idea to over provide value. So whatever people are expecting to get from you for that small price, over deliver. Give them some type of bonus that they weren't expecting, and really help them get that commitment and trust from you. Continue to groom your list in this process. Get feedback from your customer. What are they enjoying that you've been providing them? Did they like your initial products? Are they ready for more? And if they're ready for more, what do they want? This is when you can start to introduce more of a premier product or program. So this could be some type of 6 to 8 week group coaching program, or maybe even one-on-one premier services. But if you haven't created this relationship with your customer, you can pretty much bet it's not very likely they're going to drop $2,000 on a product. Continue to grow that relationship before you even offer any major product sales. For those of who are looking to create a long-term sustainable business, build your community, build your tribe, create trust, give them valuable content. As you build your tribe and people start to recognize you for where your expertise is, they're going to share that with their friends. They're going to share that in groups where they see people who have the same problems that they had that you solved. They're going to help other people solve their problem with your products. Often sales are seen as manipulative or sneaky. We're not trying to build your business that way. We're trying to provide high value content so that the right customers, they find you, and that they almost self-qualify themselves, that by the time someone gets to even considering making a purchase from you, they love you so much, they know your strategy, they know your tactics, they value the same things that you do, that it's not, you don't even have to make a sale, that they just want it because of who you are. And since we are in the business of making people's lives better, let's do it by being nice to people, providing high value content, and over delivering on expectations. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Talk to you soon.